Good evening, Jason. This is Jacob with Sutherland Chevrolet in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and I'm here to show you our 2018 Silver High Country Traverse. So I'm just going to kind of walk around the outside here so you can see the body and see its condition. But it's in very great shape. You can see here that you're going to have any possible features basically on a high country. So of course you're going to have remote lock and unlock, remote start. My camera's having trouble focusing there on my phone, and then the remote option for the tailgate as well. So you tap the tailgate button twice, that'll open and unlock the tailgate. You tap it twice again and that'll bring it back down. Now you can see that at full height there is an adjustment that I'll point out on the driver's side where you can make that go only 3/4 height, and that way in case you're in a garage or anything it can be adjusted there. And while I have it open, I might as well show you how the back works here. So you do have the fold down buttons here, so, and the seat belt's still attached there, but so it'll stop it at the moment, but so they are power down, power up, and so you press the button on top and that'll lift them back up there. I'll bring this one back up since the seatbelt restraint's in the way there, but I just wanted to show you that. You've got some space back here, and then you've got kind of a little hidden compartment down here you can hide goodies in, so for valuables. For me, it would be snacks, as well as, of course, the button on the remote. You also have a button here on the tailgate that you can hit, and that'll bring it back down. Now I'll hop on the inside here and show you that. Now I'm going to get this thing started because it's pretty cold out. There we go. So of course it is push button start. There, I'm going to turn the lights on the inside. Well, the light on my phone is on because it's so dark out, but I want as much light as I can so that you can see everything, right? I'm going to kind of go from left to right and show you everything as I see it here from the driver's side. So you've got, of course, lock and unlocks on the door. These are your savable adjustments for the power seat, which I'll show you the adjustments down there from the driver's view. But so this brings the seat. If I press it downward, it'll bring it down. Upward, it'll bring it up. Forward, forward, backward, backward. These are your adjustments for the back of the seat, you know, the angle. And this is the lumbar adjustment here. So plenty of ways to kind of find the perfect seating position for what's comfortable for you, and then you can also set that and save that to a specific number, and that way you can hop in if the seat's been adjusted the wrong way, or you know your wife's been in and adjusted it a different way. You can hit your preset number and then bring that up. This third option is kind of like the get out setting, which you can turn on and off. Most people, what they do is set it to like its furthest back and furthest down position, and then save that there. And you can set it so that when you open the door, it will bring the seat down into that furthest back position, or however you have it saved, to just make it a little bit easier to get in and out of the vehicle. Here you've got your power mirror adjustments, so I'll demonstrate that here. See how the light lights up when you have that mirror selected, and then you use this little pad here to adjust that. Pretty standard stuff, but I like to kind of show everything. While we're looking at the mirror, I'll kind of zoom in here a little bit, and it can be kind of hard to see at the moment, but see that little emblem in the corner? So that's for your blind spot, what do they call it? Blind spot alert. I can never remember those three words together for some reason. But so if something's in your blind spot back there, it'll flash on orange to let you know that there's something in that area. So there's sensors for that back on the vehicle. So I'll continue to show this stuff and unselect that mirror. This is your window locks here, and then your of course your window up and down adjustments there. So if you press that all the way down, of course it'll go all the way down, and if you hold it up, it'll bring it all the way up. And then you also have that, of course, for the other window as well. Then there it is working on the back window, just to kind of show you. And then we probably shouldn't do it on that window where it's got the stickers in it. So that would be bad to tear those up. Down here is where I mentioned earlier the tailgate adjustments. So right now it's set on maximum. You can crank this to the side to set it at 3/4 if you're in a garage or something and don't want it to go as high, and then you can just turn it off there. And you'll see here it beep, and then here it'll show you on this display in the center cluster that it's turned off. You can also hit this button. So there's actually a button in the center of this. You can press that and you'll hear that tailgate open as well. So and then you can hit it, of course, again, and it'll close it. So you have 3 different ways to open and close that tailgate. So plenty of options, make it easy. Here are your lighting adjustments in the vehicle, and then this button here on the right is for your fog lights. So here we've got a bunch of different things for me to go over. Your cruise control options are here. Your heated steering wheel, which I'm going to turn on because my hands are pretty cold out here right now. We've got your adjustments for the gap set for the forward collision alert, so you can put how far away, you know, that before that alerts you, as well as that's the gap for the cruise control as well for the what do they call it? I can't remember these 3 words either. Adaptive cruise control. So it sets both of those for you. And then here on the right side, this will bring up the similar to Siri, but the voice commands. And then this will hang up on that as well as it'll also hang up on phone calls, and this button can be used to answer phone calls. Then you have this pad here. This is used to, and you'll see here, manipulate this screen in the middle. Most people leave it where it just shows the miles per hour here and then the speed limit in the area that they're in. And then change it based on what they need. So if you drive for work, being able to have that trip information on there is good, but it can show you fuel information, oil life, tire pressure, fuel economy, timer, there's battery voltage, transmission fluid. Generally a vehicle like this is considered a luxury vehicle, so most people wouldn't be taking it off-road that much, but just in case you do, it can display off-road information as well, as far as like how the vehicle's tilted and such things. And then there's just a blank screen in case that's what you would rather see, rather than having the mile per hour and everything. But it can also display things like navigation information, like phone call information, and then audio information. So that's stuff like, of course, the radio. Right now it's showing no device connected because the last thing was someone was using the Bluetooth, and they're no longer phone connected. Now in real life, the screen doesn't have the lines like that, the blurring lines. That has to do with the refresh rate of the monitor and my camera and them not being synchronized. So in real life, I promise it doesn't do that. But we'll turn the radio on just so I can show you that. But and then I'll turn that down. But it'll show you here as well, and you can cycle through stations and channels just by using this display when it's shown up there. So a lot of ways to stay kind of hands-free as possible. Of course, you can also adjust the radio station by hitting this little guy and then telling the lady what radio station you would like it to be set on. So tune to 101, for example. But and then you'll see here on the cluster as well, where the RPMs are, there's auto stop. So in very specific situations, when the vehicle's at a stoplight and the wind's blowing a certain way and the engine temperature's just right and the planets align, so to speak, the vehicle will actually shut off the engine, which kind of weird some people out. It took me a little while to get used to it, but now that I've been around it for so long and I drive the vehicles around the lot, the engine will shut off and I won't even notice it anymore. So it is something you get used to. Now, the moment you take your foot off the brake, the engine kicks back on and is ready to go. It can be alarming at first, and some people, you know, if they're not mentioned to it by a salesman, may be like, "Oh, my engine just shut off. This is terrible. You know, I don't want to buy this vehicle." But it is part of it, and Chevrolet has tested it, and it is something the vehicle is meant to do. And then of course you have your fuel gauge and your temperature gauge there, and then your speedometer on the right side. That's all about I can think to show you there. You, of course, something I totally glossed over, have your bright lighting controls here, and then on the right side you have your windshield wiper controls. Here in the center, this is where the majority of people are going to be playing. You've got a whole cluster of things as well. So I'm going to try and kind of show you here. So you've got, of course, audio controls. So that would be radio as far as AM, FM, XM. And then you have all those controls there. The cool thing about this is you can see where this person, previous owner, I imagine, had just FM stations. But let's say, for example, you listen to a specific XM station that you like, or a specific AM station that you like. A popular one here in Lexington is 630. Well, you can actually save that 630 preset. Oops, I just messed it up. Instead of selecting, there we go. So I can actually save that 630 preset mixed in with the FM stations. You can have AM, FM, XM, all those mixed in here to kind of have it your way, so to speak. But I'll go back to this home screen. Of course, you can have your phone connected via Bluetooth. So you can, have your phone calls received via the vehicle, as well as text messages. You can also set the vehicle up to read those text messages as well, which is a pretty cool feature. And then for projection, that's for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I have an Android phone myself, it's very nice to be able to use the CarPlay because I can actually use the navigation on my phone if I prefer it. It'll charge the phone. It'll do stuff like read text messages and even use some other apps as well. And it'll actually display it up here on the screen in the vehicle for you. So it can be very nice during road trips. I've got a buddy that uses it every day when he gets in his car. He has an Apple phone and uses Apple CarPlay for that. So you can use the navigation off your phone if you prefer that, and just have it displayed right up here on the screen. Of course, it has built-in navigation as well, and that can all be controlled from the little lady in the car here. So it's going to be voice controlled as well. You can give it directions and it'll tell you where to go there and show you turn-by-turn navigation. There's settings, so you can change how a lot of this stuff works. Oops, and I did not hit the right button there. But there's also built-in apps. I don't mess with that too much, but you can get stuff like information from Fox Sports, New York Times, and other such things on here. But there's a whole slew of settings, so you can change different things, and it gets pretty detailed. So there's stuff like Teen Driver, where you can have it alert you if someone goes over a certain speed, or alerts them, or turns the radio down if they're not wearing their seatbelts, and all kinds of things. So to help steer someone to drive more appropriately. You also have this little button down here. You probably missed me pressing it, and it's good because I didn't press it hard enough for it to actually actuate. But that brings up this hidden compartment here. There is a USB port there, so you could charge a device if you needed to from there. But this can also be locked. So if you hit the settings button and go down to valet mode, you can enter in a password, and that'll actually lock it. So you could lock it in a situation, and now the radio can't be changed. Oh, I want to change the channel or whatever. It won't work. So that password has to be entered, then unlocked. So pretty cool little feature there. You've got your heating and air controls here. Of course, where this is a high country, it's going to have cooled seats here and heated seats as well. Once the 3 are lit up, that's kind of the maximum setting, and it goes down from there. You have individual like sides for the HVAC. So let's say I want it to be very warm, so I have it set on high. That's the maximum setting. But let's say someone wants it to be a little cooler. Well, they can adjust the second one, the passenger, and actually be at a lower temperature, and it'll have cooler air blowing at them than it will for me. But let's say they want to set it back to the way it was. They just hit the sync button here, and it'll go right back. And of course, they also have heating and air controls for that passenger. The rest of this stuff is pretty standard controls from down here, you've got 2 USB ports, and those can be used for the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and auxiliary, and then you've got the circular outlet here. You do have a wireless phone charger down here. Let me know what kind of phone you have, and I can check and make sure it will work. Not all phones work, and phone cases can get in the way. For instance, I used to use an OtterBox on my Android, and it would get in the way, it wouldn't charge. So I have a new phone case that is allowing it to work. You've got your cup holders down here, which I currently have the key sitting in, and then your shifter here. And here are your 4-wheel drive controls, so you can set it to 2-wheel drive here as well. There it goes, and I don't see it blink off there, but I'll put it back to 4. Now, you have your traction control off here. Generally, you'd want to leave that on, but if for some reason you get the vehicle stuck and can't get it out, you can hit that button and turn that off. And then this is your lane keep assist here, which you can turn off and on as well. This is your parking brake. It's an electronic parking brake, which not everyone has or has seen yet. Yeah, it's a newer thing. You just pull it up, just turn it on like you would a crank brake, and then you'll see it turn on here, park brake set. And then if you want to turn it off, you can just have your foot on the brake like you normally would and press it down like you would with a crank brake. The benefit of it is if you have it set up and then you start driving, where it's electronic, it can just turn itself off when you start driving, so that way it's not running against that brake and damaging it. I'll continue to kind of go over the rest of the vehicle here. Of course, you're going to have power locks and window adjustments there, and power adjustments for the passenger seat.
This vehicle is equipped with OnStar's high-speed.
And there comes OnStar on. And then
press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
I don't even know how I got her to talk. And then here, of course, is your glove compartment, and with the owner's manuals inside. I did totally miss this here. So you have garage door open and close adjustments there, and then your your moonroof adjustments right here. So you can have it tilted, you can have it slide back. These are lighting controls for the door, so you can have it set just off to where it doesn't open when the door opens. And then your OnStar controls are there. I'm going to hop in the middle row now and kind of show you what's going on there. Maybe I'm not, I've locked myself out. Oh, now I really locked myself out. Okay, now I'm in. So, I just kind of want to show you the space back here. I'm a 6'4", 300-pound guy, and I fit here with ample room, even with the seat back as far as I had it, just to sit as comfortably as I can up front. You do have heating and air controls back here, and heated seats in the middle row. You have a 120-volt outlet there, and then 2 USB ports. So plenty of ways to stay connected with the vehicle as well from here. I mean, you can see that the leather there as well. And then here's that back row. And the headsets or headrests, are pressed forward at the moment because we were laying those seats down. And then of course, these seats lay down as well, so you can, I'm going to try to unbuckle that here. Clearly, I don't know how. I might need the key to get that undone. But I wanted to show you the space here. There we go. It'll go down with the seatbelt. So I just kind of wanted to show you the space there. if you can see through all that. But as far as inventory space that you would have to carry different things and groceries and all that kind of stuff. But that's about all I can think to show you tonight. Again, this is Jacob with Sutherland Chevrolet in Nicholasville. Sorry to take up so much of your time, but I want you to be able to see as much of the vehicle as we can show you. I'll give you a call and check on you and see if you have any questions and see how we can help you and make sure it's something you're interested in. I look forward to talking to you soon. You can reach me on my cell phone anytime at 859-492-1137. Thank you and have a wonderful night.